This might be the hardest video I've ever had to film. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video, as you've seen from the title, is going to be my college haul. So the books that I'm bringing with me to college, and this is actually really dramatic for me since it's going to be a huge change in my life. I have to fly from home, so I'm actually going really far away. I'm going to Minnesota for college and study environmental science, and it's just a really big change for me. I'm leaving home, I have to pack, I share a room with my sister, so I have to kind of clean up for her so that she can take over because she's gonna be in this room for the next 4 years. And yeah, it's just really big, it's really different, and it was really hard to choose these books. Like, take my word for it. It's hard for anyone just to choose what books you're bringing on with you to vacation, but this is kind of like you're moving. So I had to choose very few books because I couldn't fit enough in my suitcase, and I didn't want to mail them because there's a whole thing about me getting scared if it gets lost, and these books are too precious to me, and also it just costs a lot. So without further ado, let's get started into the video on what books I am bringing to college. So the first book that I'm going to share is the only book in my entire list that I've actually read before, and I made this decision to choose one book that I've read before because, well, it's my favorite book. It is Pachinko by Min-Jin Lee. I am choosing to bring this one with me for several different reasons. One reason is because I'm actually taking a lot of Japanese culture courses. I'm learning about a lot of their culture, a lot of the media and like literature written in Japan, so I wanted to bring a book that took place in Japan. A lot of it takes place in Japan, but it talks a lot about the culture there. When was this? Like 1900s? So I decided to bring this with me because I really want to reread it again, as it's one of my favorites. It's signed by the author. I've met the author on several occasions. I absolutely love it a lot. And then the second reason is just because I know there are going to be asking me. People already know me as kind of like the book person there, and people are going to be asking me about recommendations and things that I would recommend them. So I definitely want to bring this book because I want to lend it out to some of my college friends, under certain circumstances though. Like, I wouldn't just give it to someone random. I would give it to someone who I trust, and just as like a housewarming gift, I don't know, just like because I feel like I'm just gonna get asked a lot like what I like to read, and I just want to recommend this book to everyone, so I'm bringing this with me. Speaking about Japanese, I have a Japanese book here. It's written entirely in Japanese, and I really want to bring this because I am continuing on with my lessons of the Japanese language. I've taken it for 3 years in high school, and I'm continuing on with it in college. So I thought my goal for this year was actually to read an entire book in Japanese. But of course I couldn't do that because I've been out of learning and lessons for quite a while now. It's been about 3 months or 4 months. No, it's been more than that. It's been 8 months, yeah. So I decided to bring this with me since I'm continuing my lessons, and maybe by the end of 2019 I'll be able to read this entire book in Japanese, and that will just be like my most impressive feat ever. But yeah, I'm bringing this with me. The next book that I'm bringing with me is Homegoing by gyasi. This is actually a new acquisition that I got. I haven't even hauled this one yet, but I really got this book because a lot of people have described it, if you liked pachinko, that you'll really like this one because it is kind of like a multi-generational book. Like, you follow one family in different generations, like their children's children, and I really like that aspect of pachinko, so I'm excited to read this one as well as read about the culture in this book. The cover is so beautiful, so symbolic, and I'm very excited. The next book that I'm bringing is Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel, and I don't know if you guys remember, but in a video like way back, I filmed one about books that I would read in that year, or I think it was 2017 or 2018, and I put this book on my list, and I broke my promise because I did not read it yet, or I don't plan on reading anytime soon, and so I want to bring this to college to kind of, first of all, I think this is the book that's been on my shelf the longest. Like, out of all the books I have, this has been on my shelf. Like, I initially bought this when I heard everyone talking about it when it was really cool, like on Bookstagram and on BookTube, and I haven't gotten to it, so I feel like if I bring it to college with me, it will force me to read it because I only have a few of these books here that I need to read, that I have with me, so hopefully I get to this year. Hopefully. We pray, because everyone and their cats has read this book, so I have to read it. The next book that I have here is The Miseducation of Cameron Post by Emily M. Danforth. This is actually a motion picture movie now that I actually haven't watched yet, but I really wanted to. But the thing with me is I usually don't watch movies before I read the book. Like Crazy Rich Asians, I read the book and now I'm excited to watch the movie. But this one, I really want to read the book first since the book's been out for a while now. I remember seeing this when I think when I was beginning high school, and I didn't even know it was a movie until they started playing the trailers, and it recently got on my radar because of the movie. One of my favorite actresses, Chloe Grace Moretz, is starring in it, so I'd really want to support it and support the film itself. And yeah, I just want to read this book. I thought it'd be nice to bring this with me because I think this is like one of the only books I have in here that's kind of like contemporary, so, or at least not like fantasy or mystery or thriller, so I decided to bring this with me. Next, I have Pointe by Brandy Colbert. This is the only book that I haven't read of hers. I think out of her, she has 3 YA novels, and this is the only one that I haven't read, so I really just want to get it off my list. Not like just get it over with, but I really like her writing as well, so I have no problem with bringing this with me if I know I'm going to enjoy it already. And I know this is about kind of like ballet, about a girl in an elite ballet school. I think it's a little bit thriller-ish since the cover is kind of suggesting that, but I'm really excited overall because it talks about dancing, which I love books about dance. And this kind of is giving me vibes of this book. Well, not this book, but like the first one in the series. Tiny Pretty Things by Sonia Cherryopatra and Danielle Clayton. This is kind of giving me some vibes, so I'm really excited because I really enjoyed that one. The next book that I have here is Sadie by Courtney Summers. I was actually planning on giving this away to one of my really good friends, but I decided to keep it instead and give it to her after I read it because I've just been hearing a lot of buzz about this one. I know this is kind of like it's already a really popular, and it seems like everyone has an arc of this, but people are saying how it blew their mind, it was totally unexpected, and that kind of intrigues me somehow. Also because I've never read a Courtney Summers book, so I know that her books are really popular and everyone loves her books. But this one in particular, it has blown everyone's mind. It's kind of like the underdog in YA. It's kind of like it's kind of under the radar, but it's really blowing up so far, and I just thought I want to read this because I'm intrigued. Look at this. Already the most buzzed about young adult thriller of 2018. It comes out September. Hopefully I'll read it before then, and I'll tell you guys what was so mind-blowing about it. The next book I have here is Strange Dreamer by Laini Taylor. I actually had a hardcover copy of this, which if you guys have watched my hauls, I hauled like a few months ago, and the publishers recently sent me this new paperback, this really renovated paperback. It looks beautiful, and I took that as a sign that I really need to get started on this series because everyone loves it, and also I myself am interested. Like, I've read Laini Taylor's book before. I read the Dreams of God and Monsters, that series, the first one, and I didn't really enjoy it, so I thought I would give her a second try. And I'm actually really, you guys know, I don't pack books if I'm not going to read them because I have really limited space, and this book is huge, so you definitely know that I'm really excited about this and that I'm really looking forward to trying it. The next book I have here is Song of the Dead by Sarah Glenn Marsh. Isn't it pretty? This is the second book after Reign of the Fallen. I think it's the Reign of the Fallen series. I don't remember what it is, what the series is called. But yeah, the author was nice enough to send me an advance copy, and I just feel really blessed because Reign of the Fallen was like one of my favorite books last year. It's really, really good. It's LGBTQ. And it's just amazing. Like, the writing, it talks about necromancy, and I'll leave the synopses for the books down below, all the links and everything. But I'm really excited to have the second one since I was looking forward to it anyway, and I'm just excited. So I'm bringing this with me to college. The next book I have here is The Apocalypse of Elena Mendoza by Shaun Hutchinson. And this is just, I'm just a big David Hutchinson fan, and as you can tell with a lot of these books, I'm trying to bring books that I know I'll enjoy because in college, I'm pretty much going to be studying all the time. It's going to be very mind-numbing, reading, a lot of reading, so I thought I would bring books that would really excite me and intrigue me, and just books that I'm really interested in to read, and this is one of them because I love Shaun David Hutchinson's writing, and I love his storytelling, and I actually did read a few pages of this since I read an excerpt when it wasn't released, and I loved it, and it really like intrigued me. I keep using the wet word, but yeah, I'm excited about this. The next book I have here is The Final Draft by Riley Redgate. There is a really interesting story behind this. So this book is about a girl who is constantly trying to impress her creative writing teacher. Her creative writing teacher is this like Pulitzer Prize winning person, and she's very hard to impress, and the main character just constantly like wants to impress her. And I did start reading this book a little, and there are like little sets of her writing, like you can read some of the writing that the main character actually writes, which I think is so cool. But I am actually taking an intro to creative writing class in college, so I thought it'd be absolutely perfect, like the stars align, if I brought this book with me to guide me through creative writing, and because I know I'm gonna want to impress my teacher as well. So I thought it'd be really fun to read a book about creative writing while taking a creative writing class. Like, doesn't that sound amazing? So yeah, this is the story behind this one, and I'm super excited. The next book that I have here is The Silence of the Girls by Pat Parker. This is the last book that I'm bringing with me to college, and it is an arc, and this one comes out in September. And mainly I wanted to bring this book was because when I got pitched at it, when they pitched this to me at BookCon, I was really intrigued with it anyway, and I don't know why I haven't started it yet, but my friend Liv from Stories for Coffees had read this book, and she loved it. She really enjoyed it so much. It's actually a retelling of the Iliad in the perspective of the girls who were living in the Greek camp. I love Greek mythology, I love anything that has to do with it, so I know this is going to be a really good one for me. Like, I know I'm going to enjoy it a lot, because I used to study like Greek mythology for fun. When I was in middle school, I used to borrow books at the library about Greek mythology and like those, you know, Hades, Persephone stories, like the little stories that were created about Greek gods and goddesses, and I just thought those were so fascinating. I don't know if that's just me, but yeah, I just decided to pick this up and bring it with me since it's also very thin, so, you know, YOLO. Okay guys, so those are all the books that I'm bringing with me to college. It was a really hard decision just because I have so little space, but I know that I'll be coming back in 4 months for Thanksgiving, so I can swap out books for new ones, so it won't be too bad. But these are all the books that I just plan on reading in the 4 months that I am away from home for that long. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please let me know if you would like to see more videos like this every time I come back from college, like what books I'm bringing with me again, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more. I'll see you guys on my next one. Bye!